What's up, coolers, and welcome back to Barca Dream Team. And today, we're going to be discussing the possible formation changes for the upcoming season. Could we see Xavi change the system to suit his players? We're also going to be discussing the roles of our potential new signings in Xavi's team and the starting 11 for the 2022-23 season. We hope you'll subscribe and hit that notification bell. There's a lot to discuss in today's video, so let's get started.
I'm sure all Barca fans are looking ahead optimistically to the summer transfer window. The club has a rumoured €200 million to spend in the market following the confirmation of several economic levers. And Barca have been linked with Christensen, Azpilicueta and Alonso, who had been excellent in Chelsea's defence at the start of last season.
It's clear that the club is targeting players more suited to the three at the back system, so could we see this system at Barca? Well, according to Gerard Romero, Xavi is considering a three at the back system for the upcoming season. We could see Andreas Christensen and Azpilicueta join Araujo at the back. This would mean that Serginho Dest and Alonso would be free to make attacking runs, knowing that there's an extra defender than in the 4-3-3 system. So perhaps we could see a 3-4-1-2 formation, defensively sound with a solid foundation. Something that would be interesting to see would be Pedri in a more advanced role, free to dictate the play. So, we did see a similar system at Barca under Ronald Koeman. At the time, the defence was leaking goals, so the extra stability at the back was really quite successful. The best example of the benefits of the three at the back system was in the 6-1 win over Real Sociedad last season at Anoeta. I think that the three centre-backs form a compact wall, which is often frustrating to try and break down, but maybe it would be seen as a formation which is too conservative for a huge club like Barca. This formation was used by Koeman because of the poor form of our defence. We needed extra men to strengthen the back line, but with Xavi looking to bolster the defence with key signings, we shouldn't really be needing to have 5 defenders on the pitch next season. So, if we now look back at last season under Xavi, it's clear to see that in the usual 4-3-3 system, a triangle forms between Busquets and the centre-backs. But on too many occasions last season, the opposition found a way past Busquets, and the defence was easily beaten. Lapses in concentration led to players getting caught in possession, resulting in a swift counter-attack and a goal threat. And it's basically all but confirmed that Franck Kessié is set to join Barca on a free transfer in the coming days. Fabrizio Romano did confirm that the deal is done and will be for 4 years. So, an alternative to the 4-3-3 system could be the 4-2-3-1 formation. Now, this formation would offer much more defensive cover. The interesting thing is that we could either have a defensive midfielder and a deep-lying playmaker, or 2 defensive midfielders. They'd be sitting in front of the defence, and in both cases we'd have a creative midfielder like Pedri in the more advanced number 10 role. This would protect the defence with a unit harder to penetrate by the opposition. Hopefully we could see faster turnarounds and more counter-attacking play from Barca, something we've been lacking in recent seasons. This is the preferred system of the Dutch national team and Ajax, and speaking recently during the Nations League, Frenkie de Jong said he preferred playing in this role. Now, we could see Xavi get the most out of him in this role if he does end up staying. Also, it would be a familiar role for Franck Kessié. I think the two of them could form a great partnership and would solidify the defence. Now, if we just analyse the usual patterns we've seen in the build-up play, Busquets is usually the link between the defence and the midfield. He's basically the engine who controls the pace of the game with his incisive passes. Last season we did see Gerard Piqué release accurate diagonal balls to the right winger when the road to Busquets was blocked. But look guys, there's really no two ways about it. When Piqué was not in the team, his distribution was missed. I don't think Eric was capable of releasing these long passes when he was in the team. He couldn't really handle the initial line of pressure. Instead of this, the ball would be switched to the fullbacks, tight to the touchline. This meant that there was a risk of losing possession or putting the ball into touch, and in both cases the play would slow down. But with a double pivot in midfield, there would be an extra passing option. The defence would have an extra man to play the ball to despite the pressure.
So, looking ahead to next season, I'm sure we'll have the German shot-stopper Marc-Andre ter Stegen between the posts. In the back four, there will be the new centre-back partnership of Araujo and Koundé, as the deal for the Frenchman edges closer and closer to being finalised. I think Araujo really does have the leadership qualities to be a great Barca captain in the future. They'll be flanked by Jordi Alba and Serginho Dest, who are most likely to retain their places with no replacements found as of yet. Ahead of them, there will be the double pivot of Frank Kessié and Frankie de Jong. The Dutchman looks likely to stay with Barca, following reports that he will reject offers from Manchester United. Pedri will be ahead of them in the number 10 position, and we know what he can do. He's been absolute revelation since bursting onto the scene, already drawing comparisons with Iniesta. Ansu Fati out wide on the left and Ousmane Dembele on the right, and leading the line will be none other than Robert Lewandowski. So these summer signings, together with the wealth of talent we already have at the club, will make Barca a force to be reckoned with. And now the substitutes bench. With Neto probably moving on this summer, Iñaki Peña will be promoted to ter Stegen's number 2. Of course, he ironically had a very good game against Barca in the Europa League whilst playing on loan at Galatasaray last season. The centre-back options would be Andreas Christensen and Eric Garcia, which is an upgrade on Lenglet and Umtiti. Sergio Busquets will continue for another year before deciding on his future. And then, of course, there's Xavi, who will rotate with Pedri. This is a really nice option to avoid him getting injured. The forward options would be Memphis Depay, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang and Ferran Torres. In the reserves, we would have Arnau Tanas. And if the signings go ahead, we'll have Marcos Alonso and Azpilicueta, 2 proven defenders from the Premier League. Sergio Roberto has renewed his contract, so he will be available for midfield or right back. The midfield options include Nico Gonzalez and the promising signing Pablo Torre. Up front, we could include Alex Collado. With the right coaching and mentality, the sky's the limit for this group of players. However, it's very important that despite these many changes, Barca doesn't lose its DNA. We all remember how the key to the Guardiola era of tiki-taka was the 4-3-3 system, with Lionel Messi at the heart of every offensive play and the whole team pressing in support. It's important that the team adapts with a system suited to the players Xavi has at his disposal in the upcoming season. We simply can't restrict Xavi to the 4-3-3 when he doesn't have the players for it. It's highly likely that Barca will revert to the usual system when new signings arrive and youth players emerge in the next Barca Dream Team. So if you like this video, guys, make sure and hit that notification bell to subscribe to BDT, and we'll see you next time. Visca Barca!